lovely people. So today is Tuesday, April 13th. It is about 11 a.m. and I thought it would be really fun to do a 24-hour read-a-thon and just kind of challenge myself and see how much I can read in 24 hours. I am going to start at noon today and run till noon tomorrow. I'm so in the mood to read right now, but I will have more time tomorrow then after I wake up, so I don't have to rush home tomorrow morning. So I did just get back from my workout. I go to Orange Theory most days. So came back, showered, made some breakfast, most importantly, made some coffee. I made actually an entire carafe of coffee. My fur children are currently fighting. It's fine. And I made a little breakfast. So I'm very excited. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy my breakfast and my coffee and journal in my monk manual a little bit. And actually I need to catch up in my reading planner because I finished a couple books yesterday, and then I'm kind of just waiting till noon so I can start reading. I don't have too many plans for today. I do want to go to the library. I put a couple holds on books and one of them is ready, and I just kind of want to look around. I haven't been to my local library in a little bit, but otherwise today is all about reading. So at the moment I am in the middle of 5 books. Big surprise to anyone that knows me. So I'm in the middle of these 4 and I'm 20 pages into House of Leaves. I really want to get to that book and read it, but I feel like I can't focus on it because I have these other books I'm in the middle of, as well as there's other books I really want to read. So I want to kind of devote this 24-hour read-a-thon to get through some of this so that I can focus on House of Leaves. So I am in the middle of Evicted. I am about 70 pages in. This is not my top priority because this is nonfiction, and I do find it pretty easy to read fiction and nonfiction at the same time. It's nice to diversify, but it would be nice to make a little more progress in this today. This book is a big priority. Me and Me, I started it in February. I'm about halfway through. I'm on page 121. It's really good and it's a really quick read. I just haven't sat down to finish reading it, and it's one of those it's just weighing on the back of my mind, so I do want to finish this today. I am in the middle of The Project. I am on page 219. I am actually listening to this as an audiobook. I think I have 3 hours and 20 minutes left. Not too much if you're looking at it. I do plan to finish this today and pick up another audiobook. I'm not 100% sure what audiobook. And then this book. This book and we have a sordid history. So I got this as my book of the month in July of last year, and I did start it, I believe, in July. It might have been August. No, it definitely was July because it was before I moved. I am 162 pages in, and I am just having the hardest time getting through this. I want to finish it because I want to know, there's a little bit of a mystery to it, and I want to know what the mystery, what ends up coming of it. The writing is really hard for me to get into. This is my first book I've read by Alex North. There is a little bit of a mystery element, and I am very curious to see what comes of it. I just am really struggling to get into it, and I'm halfway through. I don't want to DNF it because I'm curious, but I just can't read it. So I believe, I'm 95% sure that the audiobook is on Scribd, so I want to try to just kind of power through this, take it in a different format and see if I can connect to the story a little bit better. If I'm really not feeling the audiobook, I might end up DNFing this, but I want to give it one more try. So those are the books that I'm in the middle of right now. And then I do have a couple books that I procured this weekend, a couple mangas actually. So this is a horror manga, I believe. Spiral into Horror. It looks really cool, and I feel like I can get through this today, or at least get into it. And then I have 2 shorter ones. So this one, Waiting for Spring, I've heard Books with Chloe talk about, so I thought it'd be a cute read and I wanted to try it, as well as Shortcake Cake. This one I just saw in the bookstore and I thought it was really cute, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I've heard anybody talk about it, but I'll try it. And then, like I said, I do have a book ready at the library and I want to look around a little bit. So that is my plan for today. Until noon, I am just going to sit here and enjoy my breakfast and my coffee, rehydrate after a pretty difficult workout, and journal, and that's about all. So I will check back in at noon and let you know what book I'm starting with.
I'm sorry, don't know where to begin. Don't get these demons in my head. Please help me find the cause of it. This is the start of something.
Hello, lovely people. So I've just finished Me and Me, and I think I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 stars. This book took me on quite the roller coaster. When it first started, I really thought it was going to be like a 4.5. I think the premise is so interesting. So this book follows this girl named Lark, and she is on her first date with this boy named Alec, and they're out like in a canoe in the river when she hears this mother screaming, who she knows because she's babysat her daughter, Annabelle, and Annabelle is drowning. So when her and Alec go to dive into the water to try to save Annabelle, Alec hits his head. So he is starting to drown and go unconscious. So Lark is left with the decision to save Alec or save Annabelle. And then the book is told kind of in parallel timelines, one where she saved Alec and kind of the fallout from that because Annabelle is in a coma, and then vice versa, one where she saved Annabelle and now Alec is in a coma. It kind of all collides when her 2 selves realize that they're in this parallel universe and trying to figure out how to bring themselves back together for one timeline. So it's a really short book. It's only 239 pages. I feel like that's really short for all that was going on in this book. I think the main character is really unlikable, especially in one timeline in particular. So in the timeline where she saves Alec, she's just falling so hard and so fast for this guy, and I think there is so much pressure put on their relationship because on her first date with him, she saves his life, and they just move super fast and kind of, they have that cliche high school love where they have blinders on to everything else going on in the world, and it's super frustrating because you just want to hit her on the head and be like, don't make this guy your whole world. You're throwing away everything else good in your life. The other timeline where she saved Annabelle, she has so much going for her, but there's still bad things happening. I thought that was super interesting, that in both timelines there's good and bad, and I really liked that, and I thought it had kind of a great undertone of the consequences of choices, and no matter what you do, there is always going to be good and bad, and you kind of have to take the bad with the good. But the ending of this, oh my God, I was so frustrated. So it kind of ends, it's basically like back at the beginning. So she's back at the lake and she has to decide who she's gonna save, and that's how it ends. And I was just like so mad, because the whole point of this book was which timeline is real. Like, that's what the premise of this whole thing was to see which path was actually the real one. And then there's an epilogue, and it's like a Q&A with Lark as this so she's the lead singer of a band. I didn't mention that. before, but her band has made it big and she's answering these questions because their most popular song is this song called Parallel, which is based on this whole thing that has happened to her. So the epilogue is a Q&A with Lark discussing how she came up with the idea for Parallel, and she's just like answering questions that like both timelines happened simultaneously, and oh my god, I wasn't vibing with this. I think it had great potential. It just really fell short for me, and the ending really ruined it for me. It's like she's trying to get the best of both worlds, and I really would have preferred if the author just chose one of the lives and just ran with it, and the other, like, I don't know, Lark wakes up and realizes this other life was all a dream and she really did save Annabelle. I don't know, something. I was so disappointed. So with all that said, I was on page 121 when I started this. I have now since finished. That was a very cumbersome way of saying that I've read 118 pages so far. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of work, check my emails, and listen to the audiobook for the project a little bit. I have just over 3 hours left in it, so it'll be about an hour and a half on double speed. And then in between kind of working, I think I'm going to read Waiting for Spring, because this was such a disappointment and kind of a heavy read. It definitely deals with some heavier topics, and then this is about a cult, so this is just a lot to take in. So I think I just need like something cute that I can just like, a nice happy story, and I honestly don't even know if that's what this is, but I'm hoping it is. So that is my reading plans for right now. I have my Starbucks, got some green tea, and I will check back in when I've made some progress with these books. Hello, lovely people. So it is a little bit after 5 p.m. and I've made a little bit of progress. I did go to the dog park with Alayla and I listened to my audiobook of The Project. I got through about 70 pages and I have about 60 left, so I'm almost done with this, and I am loving this book. This book is everything I wanted and a little bit more. How it ends is definitely going to dictate my final feelings and thoughts, so I want to get through the rest of it before I talk about it too much. But it just took a turn that I didn't see coming. I'm very curious how it'll play out. If you're not familiar with this story, it follows two sisters after a family tragedy kills both of their parents. The younger sister, Lo, was hospitalized, and she was actually like in the ICU and had to go through a lot of rehab to kind of be released and get back to a quote-unquote normal life. And then the older sister, B, through her grief and just trying to come to terms with losing her parents and almost losing her sister, joins this church, but it seems more like a cult from the outside. So the story's told a little bit from both perspectives. It's mostly Lo's perspective. It kind of jumps around timeline a little bit, so it goes back to the time of the accident and then present day, and then the timelines are almost to the point where they're converging. There's also this mystery of what ended up happening to B, because it turns out the leader of this church cult has revealed to Lo that she left. There's just a lot happening, and Lo starts to talk to and try to get information from this church cult because she wants to see her sister, but she also has this opportunity to write a piece about it. And she just took this turn that she joined, and I didn't see it coming because she's so hard-headed. And I'm really hoping it's a situation where the character is not revealing their true thoughts to the reader. It's not told in first person or anything, but I'm just really hoping that that's the case and she's not like, hasn't been sucked into this world. But yeah, it's definitely these last 60 pages, how they play out is definitely going to dictate my rating for this. I'm very excited to finish. I think I have like a little more than an hour left. I do listen to audiobooks on double speed, so it'll be like 30 minutes. I do want to finish it, and then I think I'm going to cook dinner. So that is going to be my focus for right now. I did end up reading about a third of Waiting for Spring. This is a super cute story about a high school girl who's just trying to find friendship, and through kind of accidental situation befriends these 4 very popular basketball players. And I think it's going to be a really cute story, and it's very lighthearted and cute in comparison to like these 2 books where there's like death and deadly consequences for your decisions and then a cult. So this is a very nice, welcome change of pace. I did go to the library, so I wanted to share with you guys the books that I borrowed, because I definitely want to read some of these tonight, hopefully for the Read-A-Thon. If not, I'm definitely going to get to them this week. So the first one is Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too, and this has been on my TBR for I think like 2 years. It just looks like a really cute little story graphic novel. And I'm very excited. I think this will be something nice to kind of read tonight when I'm trying to fall asleep. I got Mooncakes, which I've been rewatching Books with Chloe's videos because she is just one of my favorite booktubers, and I just love having her vlogs on while I'm cooking or like getting ready, whatever. And she had talked about this in one of those vlogs. She really enjoyed it, so I thought, why not give it a read. I also think the artwork just looks absolutely incredible. It's so colorful, so I'm excited for that. I have Check Please, which is another graphic novel that actually my one of my friends read when I believe right when it came out, and she really enjoyed it. And I feel like, actually, now that I'm saying it, I feel like she might have got an arc of it when the first time we went to BookCon. I don't remember. She won that like breakfast that you could go to at BookCon to meet the authors, and I feel like this was in that like bag that she won. But she really loved it, and it's been on my TBR ever since, so I got this. And then I also got Blankets, which somebody in college actually told me about this graphic novel. It's kind of always caught my eye. I feel like I don't know if it was on a blurb or something, that it's the greatest love story. But regardless, I am excited to read this. So my plans for right now, I want to listen to a little bit more of The Project, cook some dinner, and finish Waiting for Spring. Hello, lovely people. So it is a few hours later. It is 8:30, and I have a lot to catch you up on because I've done a lot of reading. As you saw from the last clip, I did make dinner. I had cheese ravioli, kind of my knockoff garlic bread, which was just lavash bread, and I made some peas. It was very good. It was very nice to just sit down and enjoy that. Shortly after there, Alayla had a friend over, so the two of them were just going wild, and I didn't think it was a good time to vlog because I was trying to watch them and kind of read in between, but I was able to make a lot of progress. So while I was cooking, I did end up finishing The Project, and I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I think it has great commentary about just being vulnerable and people taking advantage of that, and what great lengths people go to feel like they're a part of something, and the lengths that family go to protect one another, whether or not they've spoken. You know, blood runs just so deep. This book is just great. However, I wasn't super satisfied with the ending. I did anticipate that B was dead, so that didn't come as a surprise. However, the fact that Lo kind of got out of the scenario the way that she did, and she has no memory. The fact that Lo kind of wakes up and finds out that she didn't drown, and that Lev is dead, and she has no memory of it, and there's nobody to like corroborate what happened. It's just she ended up on shore, and Lev is gone, and they found B, what was left of her, in the river, and I don't know, I just wasn't super satisfied with it. So I did dock it a little bit. Something I really appreciated about this book is I think Lo is a very unlikable character, but you still really empathize with her and her story. I definitely recommend this. And I did want to show you the without the dust jacket. It says, "There is no flaw in you," which is a quote from the book. I think that's just a nice quote in and of itself, but I think it kind of gives you a little taste of the Unity Project. And then when you open it, it says you have been chosen. So especially that part, really, you get it. This book I had, don't mind my notes over here, I had 155 pages left of this before a child has woken up from her nap. So that puts my total at 273. And then on the way to the library, I think I mentioned I read a little bit of Waiting for Spring, and I did end up finishing it after dinner. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a really cute story about just a really innocent high school girl and how she's trying to make friends, and she kind of accidentally befriends these 4 very popular basketball guys, and how their friendship is just something to be coveted. And I think it's super cute. I definitely want to pick up the rest of this series, and I am excited to continue. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. This was 200 pages, so that brings the total to 473 pages. And then in between wrangling the dogs for the last hour, I did read Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too. This book was so cute. It's so adorable. It's such a fun read about what it means to be human. And I think it's just told in a really cute, creative way. It talks about loneliness and friendship and purpose and dreams and being creative. But again, it's told in a creative way. So I did give this 5 out of 5 stars. Super quick read. You can see it's a lot of cute kind of artwork. There's not too much writing in it. I think I read it in like 25 minutes, all in all. So this book is 256 pages, which brings our total to 729. So I did read, once I finished the project while I was washing dishes, I did read, listen to a couple chapters of The Shadows as an audiobook. I think I got through 2 or 3 chapters, so I haven't made too much more progress with this, but I think like that format. So I do want to spend some time tonight listening to this audiobook. So perhaps I will play Sims or Animal Crossing or something and just listen to this. Until then, since I am just on a kick, I'm going to pick up Check Please. Super excited about this. It looks like a very cute, fun read. And I did see that my library has the second one as well. So perhaps I shall finish this and go get the second one this week. So yeah, that kind of catches you up So I am going to dive into this, and I will come back on here when I have an update for you. Hello, lovely people. So it is the next day. It's about 11 a.m. So I have 1 hour left in my read-a-thon. I ended up reading for a little while last night, and then I took a shower and went to bed around midnight. I was just kind of enjoying my evening, so I didn't update you guys at all. And then this morning I went to my Orange Theory class, came back, took a shower, made coffee, the most important thing in the morning. Hello, Rosie. Let me move this because I don't want her tail to get in my breakfast. You want to say hello? This is my kitty, Rosie. She likes to come around when the dog is not here. But anyways, I wanted to update you guys really quick for my plans for my last hour of the read-a-thon. I did make some progress with The Shadows, listening to it as an audiobook. I am enjoying it a little bit more, and I am going to finish it. That is what I've been listening to this morning. Hello. That is what I've been listening to this morning, just while I'm getting ready. I listened to a little bit last night. It's still not blowing me away. I'm not super connected to the story, but we are uncovering a few of the mysteries. I am on page 262, so I've listened to about 100 pages of the audiobook, and I have this much left. So I definitely think I can finish this. I think I have like an hour and a half left of the audiobook, but I do listen to most audiobooks on double speed. So I can definitely finish that. And then my other priority is finishing Check Please. So I did get through quite a bit of it. I read this much and I have this much left. It's a really quick read. It's super cute and fun, and I really want the romance to come out of this. I kind of sensed it from the beginning, and now I just really want to see it. It's fine. It's really cute though. I'm excited to finish this, and I definitely want to pick up the second one soon. And then I was feeling really ambitious last night. When I finished Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too, I was just like so motivated. I was like, this is our life. It's beautiful. Stop holding back and just do the things you want to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to read the Poedex. So I added this like a crazy person, because not like I was reading enough. So this book, I've actually owned a physical copy of it for a couple years now, and I was so excited to read it. It's a novel told in verse, which poetry is definitely my thing. I really connect to it on just a different level than anything else that I read. And this book is told in verse, so I knew I was going to love it, and I knew it would be a really quick read. So I kept putting it off because I was like, someday when I just need to like get through something to like reignite my love of reading. So I kept putting this off, and I've actually read Elizabeth Acevedo's other novel, With the Fire on High, and I loved it. I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say I gave it 4 stars. Don't remember though. So I figured the best time to do anything is now. So I started reading this, and I read 100 pages last night. I don't think I can finish the audiobook and Check Please in an hour. That's a little ambitious, but I want to finish this audiobook so I can finally just close the chapter on this and kind of devote my energy to something else. And then I want to finish this because it's just really cute, and I think it'll be a fun way to end my read-a-thon. And then if I end up having some extra time, I might read a little bit more of this, but I don't think I'm going to get much further. So that is my plan for the hour. I will come back at noon to give you guys kind of a wrap up and my final thoughts.
Baby, I've been struggling to find the peace they say is within. I'm a head case.
Hello, lovely people. So it is a little bit after 12. It is 12:30 right now. It did end up taking me a little bit past noon to finish this. I finished the book and then I was just reading. There's tweets in the back. that are just really fun and they complement the story really well. So technically I went about 20 minutes over my 24-hour goal, but I'm still counting it because this book was just wonderful. So I did end up finishing The Shadows. I think I'm going to give it 2.5 out of 5 stars. I'm really disappointed with this book. I haven't read anything by Alex North. I did borrow The Whisper Man from the library 2 years ago, I think. I didn't end up reading it, but I was really excited to see this as a book of the month option last July, sorry. So I did pick it up and I looked back at my Goodreads and I started reading it at the end of last July. There's just something about the writing. It was really hard for me to get into. And I think it's just the writing's kind of dense, and the character that you're following throughout this book, it's just kind of hard to connect with him. At least that's what I found. There's also a second perspective, this woman named Amanda, and I really felt like her parts were unnecessary. The main character, Paul, does learn things about the story from Amanda, but I don't think she was really essential to the story, to figuring out this grand mystery. I don't think I shared too much about this, but this does follow Paul in his adult years when he was, I think, like middle school age. He and his best friend kind of joined friendship with these other two boys, and the one boy, Charlie, was really into lucid dreaming. So they tried to, the four of them would have dream journals and they would try lucid dreaming every night, and the hope was that they would encounter this man and they could live forever through these lucid dreams. So they were trying to build up their strength so that they would go to sleep one night and then never wake up, but they would live forever in this alternate world. It was pitched as, I can't think of the term. This book was pitched as a urban legend, and I see where it's coming from with that. There is this bigger mystery, but I felt like the reveal of it all just fell really short. I wasn't like super shocked by anything, and I didn't feel super attached to any of the characters. So I am giving it 2.5 out of 5 stars. If this is more your thing, definitely pick it up. But this wasn't the book for me. And then I also finished Check Please, Complete Opposite. This is 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely love this. This is such a cute little story. So this follows this young boy, Biddy, and he vlogs and kind of has this online life. So part of the graphic novel is him kind of talking to the camera, and he is in his freshman year, just starting off at college, and he's there on an athletic scholarship to play hockey, but he's actually like not a very large built guy. He's also gay, and he loves to bake pies. And I think the baking pies thing is just like such a cute twist that I feel like I don't really see I don't see a lot of characters that love baking and like have like a niche that they like to bake a certain thing. So that was really fun, especially male characters. I don't see a ton of that. The whole time I was rooting for him and Jack to get together. I totally picked up on the tension, and this ends with Jack coming back and kissing him, and it just ends. So I need to pick up the next book ASAP. Following the end of the story, there is some cute, what are they called? Like mini comics, mini stories, which that was really fun just to read through. So if you're not familiar with hockey and just kind of terms that they're using in general, it kind of goes over some of that stuff. It makes you feel more connected to the story, as well as there's a whole section at the very end that is just tweets from Eric Biddle, the main character, which was really fun after you finish it to kind of revisit, because they do go obviously chronologically throughout the story. So you've already kind of read the story and now you get to read the live tweeting that would happen if this was real life. This was so incredible. I definitely recommend. And the illustrations are just beautiful. Like, I think it's just so talented. I actually have more books ready at the library, and I think I want to go either today or tomorrow. And when I pick those up, I want to get the second one of this because I really want to read it. With all that said, I didn't get any further in the Poet X, so I'm leaving it off at 92 pages, almost 100, which I'm pretty happy with. So overall, I read 6 books. I guess we can go chronologically here. I read Me and Me, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. I read The Project, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. I read Waiting for Spring, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien too, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The Shadows, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars, and Chuck Please, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read 92 pages of this, which so far I'm really enjoying it. I don't really have a rating quite yet because I'm not even a third of the way through, so I don't really want to think about that. So The Shadows, what I had left of this book was 160 pages. Check Please was 288 pages, and The Poet X, I read 92 pages. So altogether, this read-a-thon, I read 1,269 pages, and I'm very pleased with that. I think that is maybe not the most I've ever read, but it's really up there. This was so fun, and definitely what I needed to kind of just clear off my reading shelf and motivate me to pick up House of Leaves. So that is probably the next thing I am going to pick up. I think I'm going to go back into the real world, at least for a couple hours today, and just kind of reacquaint myself because I've just been living in books for 24 hours. But I'm so excited to pick up House of Leaves next. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading experience, and I hope I have inspired you to pick up some of these wonderful books. I hope that you all have an absolutely lovely day.